Welcome. I hope you enjoy the conversation you're about to see between me and another comedian about religion and comedy. These are conversations I'm calling disorganized religion. God bless. And for those atheists out there, may nothing await you after this life. Welcome, nerds. Thanks for joining us for another edition of Disorganized Religion. I am the host, Seth Lawrence, as always. And this week, I am joined by the fantastically, amazingly talented, and dashingly good-looking Ray.
How's it going, Seth?
Ray Easter. You can find him on SiriusXM, and he was on Laugh After Dark season Dose. So you can find him on Amazon Prime and the satellite radio LOL channel.
Yeah.
How you been, Ray?
I'm good. I'm good. How have you been?
Good, doing well. Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, man. When was the last time you were out?
Outside?
Outside.
It's been a long time. It's been a really long time.
Are you able to like work from home?
I mean, I watch my kids during the day, so I was always working from home. It's the only place I work.
Yeah. But now, are they being homeschooled now?
I mean, school's out now. School's out for the summer. But yeah, we were doing Zoom stuff, and I need to double check on whether or not their school is going to be back in the fall.
Okay.
Because we might be doing Zoom again.
Yeah. All right. Zoom school.
Rough. Yeah. So rough. Yeah. What about you? When was the last time you were out with other people? You've been doing protesting? What you been up to?
No, I've been saying, I live downtown LA where they like riot, so I've been like chilling. But things are a lot less tense now. So it's people are protesting, and it's peacefully, which is cool.
That is good.
Yeah.
So you working from home too, or what have you been doing to keep yourself busy?
Nah, man, I've been just watching. I just got the Disney Plus, and I am binging every Marvel movie, all the Star Wars, all that. Yeah, buddy.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Good. So have you watched all of? I haven't seen all of the Marvel movies. There are like 30 of them, right?
Yeah, I've seen pretty much all of them now.
Yeah. Favorite superhero? Do you have one?
It was for a while Captain America, but now it's become Iron Man.
Oh, all right.
It's changed throughout the years. So
what made you change from Captain America to Iron Man?
I kind of like how the movies made like the just his character development throughout the whole series was actually pretty well done. So it just made me a Tony Stark fan.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Well, good. Very fun. So there was Captain America versus Iron Man. There was one of those.
Oh, Civil War.
Yes.
Yeah. That was good movie.
That tear you apart inside?
It kind of did. No, it was a good scene. No, I wanted to see him duke it out.
Yeah. Very fun.
I mean, we all know who would have won one-on-one, but
I haven't seen the film. So did one of them cheat? Did they cheat?
No, it was like 2-on-1. This is so nerdy now. It's gotten to a nerdy podcast.
That's great.
It's a long story. Captain America's ex got back into it, and they fought against his ex, meaning Winter Soldier.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's a joke. It doesn't matter.
I haven't seen them. I'm sure my audience. I'm sure my audience will love it, though. They're gonna eat this part up.
Yeah, they will. It was for them.
Yeah, for all three of them that listen.
Your kids.
Yeah, exactly. So how long you been doing stand-up, Ray?
It'll be 8 years in October.
Oh wow.
So a couple. Yeah.
You've been in it a bit.
Yeah, I have.
What was that always the dream? Was that always the plan to do stand up?
No. Actually, the dream, I guess, I never really knew what I wanted to do. In high school, like I decided I would study criminal justice and become try to get into some like a become like a detective or some like federal
Yeah.
agent or something.
Yeah.
But turns out I hated it. So I hated I hated
Really?
getting into it. Yeah.
What did you hate about it?
Just the whole
The racism or
process. Yeah, and yeah. That actually,
was there a
honestly,
lot?
of what, racism?
Yeah, I mean, was that an
Yeah.
issue that you felt in the program itself?
No, well, I mean, honestly, saying like since like Trayvon Martin, like since that story broke out, I've been kind of teetering off that path,
Oh, okay.
and I'd always been a fan of stand up, and I had tried it
Mm-hmm.
for a while, and I didn't think like I'd do it like professionally. I thought I'd kind of do it on the side while I
Yeah.
pursue the criminal justice, and yeah, that took a turn, and I thought I could probably do this. Been doing it for a while. I started doing it after like 3 years. I was like, fuck it, let's do it for real.
Gotcha. Oh,
So,
that's cool. So did
yeah,
you graduate from the program or did you drop out and do stand up?
dropped out. Yeah,
Gotcha.
after a year and a half. I went to Virginia State University in
Yeah.
Petersburg, Virginia. Dropped out, went to community college, and I finished up there. And then I got a job as a armored truck driver,
Hmm.
and I did that for a while. I was doing that as I was uh, applying for different police departments.
Okay. So you were still
Yeah,
thinking about at least criminal
I was.
justice
I
stuff.
was then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was then. Um, and then, yeah, honestly, I was getting very depressed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, uh, after I figured out, like, I didn't want to go that route, I was like, I have no idea what I want to do. So I was getting depressed about that and a lot of other, like, life things. And, yeah, I decided to do something that I liked doing. And I just kept with stand up.
Yeah, it's funny that you so I guess a lot of people that I talk to, a lot of people that we know are also depressed doing stand up. So
Yeah.
what about doing stand up did you like? What helped you kind of get out of the funk with stand up?
Uh, I mean, I liked, first of all, just being out, uh, just hanging out with like-minded people. That's
Mhm.
the thing. Uh, and just being on stage was so fun.
Yeah.
It took me a while to break my stage fright. It took me,
Oh,
yeah, for like a year and some change. But
really? So
yeah,
despite the stage fright, you still wanted to do stand up.
yeah, I at least wanted to like just do it. I didn't, when I started doing it, I didn't think about doing it professionally at all.
Uh-huh.
I was just trying to do it just to do it.
Yeah, like a
So
bucket list kind of thing or just you were interested in it and
yeah,
wanted to see what it was like.
I was always interested in it. So it was more like I was just very much into it.
Yeah.
Um, and honestly, like most people, we don't know how to like get into doing stand up.
Yeah.
And I came across a roommate of mine actually that did stand up, and he asked me if I wanted to do stand up, and I said no, because my roommate was weird and I didn't want to hang out with him. So,
And little did you
so
know.
little did I didn't know that you could do it. So I asked, like,
Yeah.
was there a place that you could go and eat took me to, it showed me a website,
Mm.
dcstandup.com, and
Which was like the LA
got
Comedy
into it.
Bureau. They
It's
just had
like
all the
the
open
LA
mics.
Comedy
Yep.
Bureau. Yep, exactly. So
Gotcha.
got
So
into it that way.
what was your first experience on stage like? Did you
It
go with
was.
prepared jokes or?
I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd actually been writing for a while because I was still like interested in the lifestyle
Uh-huh.
of
Of a stand-up?
comedians.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did write things down, but I had no idea what the hell I was doing. But I
Sure.
did prepare something.
That's good. Yeah.
The first time actually went well, because it was my first time, and I was obviously nervous. So people were the audience was very just into it.
Yeah.
Uh, so it just made it so much easier. But
Mm.
literally the second time I ate shit, and
And that was
that's
and
what
that's
we
when you
all
got
know.
hooked.
Yes, I got hooked. Yeah, this is like how do you go from a good set to a bad set and make it a good set again?
Yeah.
That was kind of intriguing. So
Right.
yeah.
So how long did you do stand-up in Virginia?
Um, about three 3.5 years before I moved out here to LA.
Wow. So were you
Yeah.
getting
So
good
I was.
shows out there or?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I started in DC.
Mm-hmm.
So where I'm from is I'm I'm about 20 minutes outside of DC. So uh, there were some mics in Virginia, some shows, but mostly we went into the city.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Damn, what was your? You had asked a question. What was
Just were you getting good shows? Like were you getting good
good?
traction out there in DC?
Yeah. At first, no, but it's one of those areas where the more people the more spots you get on, and by
Right.
the end of those 3.5 years, I was getting pretty good um, sets and
Yeah.
spots. So it is a gradual thing, but
Yeah.
I assume it's like that pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've only done it in LA, and what I've noticed about LA is there are pockets of comedians and areas, I guess is really the way to talk about it. There are areas that uh, have communities within the larger
Yeah,
LA area.
right.
Was DC the same way, or was it a pretty tight knit community?
It was a bit more tight knit, only because it's not as a big
Right.
city as LA is. So, um, yeah, I'm doing. I've been out here 3.5, almost 4 years, and I'm still meeting new comics that
Yeah.
have been here as long as I have, and I have never seen or heard of them. And
Right.
it happens every day. There's so many people out here, so
Yeah.
you kind of have to like get with like a clique out
Yeah.
here just naturally.
Yeah.
Um, in DC, it was a more tight knit, but still very clicky and political in some ways.
Uh-huh.
And you you can do some rooms and not do some other rooms.
Sure.
There, a lot of politics played on people who ran rooms.
Yeah.
But a lot of people could do everything. So that was kind of the goal, was to get and do all the rooms. So I did most of them, you
Yeah.
know,
Hey, that's pretty good.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
it was a lot of fun.
what was the move? I mean, why move to LA? Was it to make it serious, more full-time pursuit
More,
or
yeah, more serious. I knew you had to do the change or do the move, LA or New York.
yeah.
I actually wanted to do New York
Uh-huh.
instead of LA.
Sure.
Just because one, it's closer.
Right.
Two, I just kind of I like the New York scene and I like the vibe more
Uh-huh.
than LA.
Now, did you see comedians from LA and New York come through DC just doing shows and stuff?
Sure, yeah. I mean, there was a lot of people that I mean, throughout the whole coast from you have DC and then Baltimore and Philly and
Yeah.
to New York. So a lot of guys moved around a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Um, and it was good to check out other scenes and see different, because every scene kind of has like a different a style kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Different feel. Yeah.
yeah. So and every city has a different crowd, all obviously. So
Right.
it's
Right.
good to venture out.
Yeah. So why'd
Uh,
you end up picking LA over New York?
well, I had another buddy of mine who was moving out here, and he said in about a year, and he
Uh-huh.
said, I'll be out here in about a year. I'll need a roommate.
Yeah.
I said, fuck
So
it, let's do it.
LA it is.
LA it is. Never been out here, never visited,
Yeah.
just
Wow.
came out.
And how do you
Yeah,
feel about that decision? Do you regret it at this point?
absolutely.
Do you really?
No, not. I mean, you kind of had to make the best of it,
Yeah.
and I mean, LA's growing on me a lot. So I've
Uh-huh.
actually didn't think I'd be enjoying it as much as I have been. So
Yeah. Oh, interesting. And
yeah,
what was the experience like? Talk to some who have moved at different points in their stand-up career, but the commonality is that it's a feeling of starting over. How do you agree with that? Or
oh yeah,
yeah. And
yeah.
how did you navigate that? Is that just a pride swallowing kind of thing and you just wait to rise, or how did you
Kind of.
navigate that?
I mean, had I came out here and I had about like a half hour of material that like I liked that
Yeah.
worked back home. Then I
Yeah.
get here and a lot of it didn't work. So
Why not, do you think? Was it just
I
area?
I think it was probably a lot of area. Um, Also, crowds out in LA, it's a lot different from anywhere else
Yeah.
because there's so much to do here. So people
Mm,
are a bit spoiled
yeah.
because you got, why go to a comedy show? I mean, there are people out here that sit in audience chairs for a living.
Right.
So why would
Right.
they
And are
go?
paid to do that. Yeah. Yeah.
I paid to do that. Why go to an
Yeah.
open mic on a Tuesday?
Sure.
Not
Well, and I
do
guess
shit.
that's the other question, right? Like they could pay almost the same price to see professionals go work out some material, or they could go
Exactly.
to a bar show.
Which is why the comedy store is usually, doing well. The comedy store, Laugh Factory, all those places are doing well. But,
Yeah.
local bar shows are just nightmares,
Yeah. Very
you know?
rough. Yeah. You better hope you
Yeah,
have a friend on the show.
yeah, yeah. Couple of them.
Yeah.
Couple of them.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. So are you
Uh,
from Virginia originally?
no, I'm actually a military brat. So from
Gotcha.
Syracuse, New York.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I have like no emotional connection to Syracuse. So
Yeah.
I moved around quite a bit up until I guess I was about 9, and then we moved to Northern Virginia,
Yeah.
and I just stayed there
Got
until
it. And
moved out here.
what did your parents do in the military?
My dad was a finance officer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so in the army.
Yeah. So any
Yeah,
military service dreams for you, or
I had I did think about it. I mean, that was gonna be that would have I would have done that had I'm diagnosed. I've been diagnosed with asthma since I was 3, so it's
gotcha.
pretty tough to get in.
Yeah.
with that. Uh, so that kind of like, blew my dream of doing that. I would have
Jeez.
joined too,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
but I probably wouldn't have been a comic had I
Had you
had
joined?
that happened. Yeah,
Yeah. Maybe
yeah,
not. Maybe you could have been
yeah.
a veteran comic, you know?
Could have been. I
Yeah.
mean, I could have done. Could have done those veteran shows. Go out on the
Right.
USA tours. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Interesting. So asthma, I mean, I think maybe asthma kind of saved your life. Maybe.
yeah, maybe, yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Who
Uh,
knows?
did
We
your
all
dad
get drafted.
did your dad enjoy military service, or I mean,
Oh
like,
yeah.
did he encourage you until the diagnose? Oh, I guess you were 3. Like, did they
No, I
know
mean,
immediately, or was that not
yeah, I
clear how?
mean, it's like it's a part of their like demands. Like you have
Yeah,
to get over it by the age of like 12 or 13 or so, and you have
gotta.
to like show proof.
Yeah,
And I had it. I still have it now, pretty
yeah,
bad. Still got my inhaler over here. So
gotcha. Wow.
um,
Yeah. So
yeah.
is that
So I'm.
tough for you and your dad to deal with, like this possibility that would never happen, or is it
No,
just like,
I
yeah, it's
mean,
okay?
I was like, I'm. I don't have to fight in any wars, so
Yeah,
I'm
you could just
cool.
be a member of the police and fight a war in the homeland.
Exactly. Absolutely not. I've been putting on riot gear with asthma. Jeez,
Yeah,
no.
geez
Yeah,
Louise.
I did. I dodged a bullet.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Interesting. So, yeah. So, where do you claim is home, if not Syracuse, where you were born?
Still Virginia, still Northern Virginia. I
Okay.
mean, my parents still live there. My dad still is in Northern Virginia, and
Hmm.
both my parents are from Southern Virginia, out the Hampton Roads, Virginia Beach area. So
Okay.
uh, both grandparents were were there. So I also consider that a second home.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah,
And did you
yeah,
ever live abroad, or was your dad never stationed abroad?
yeah. We lived in Germany when I was like 2 and 3.
Okay.
So
So you have
I
very vivid memories of
very vivid.
Germany.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very vivid. I remember it. Mm. Uh,
It's a third home, really, Germany.
third home, Germany.
Yeah.
Germany. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. And so what was your religious upbringing like? Was your family religious at all?
Southern Baptist and
Okay.
extremely religious.
Is that right? Would
Yeah.
you say they
Oh
were
yeah.
militant about their religion?
Oh, I see what you did there.
Ooh, huh?
Oh, you've been writing. You've been writing. Oh,
Uh,
quarantine is not has
I'm
served you well.
still sharp, baby.
Yeah, actually, no, no pun intended. Yeah, they were pretty. I mean, uh, my dad's a deacon. My uncle
Okay.
is a preacher. My
Yeah.
grandpa was a deacon. Uh,
Gotcha.
most members of my family are involved in the church pretty heavily.
Yeah.
So
And were you
it's
ever interested in doing any of that professionally, or no?
nah,
No.
nah, man.
All right.
Dude, I was churched out at the age of 18. I was
Yeah.
like, as soon as I'm out of here, I'm good.
Is that
Because
right?
every Sunday, and I had to join a ministry.
So what does that mean,
Um,
join a ministry? Is that like a congregation or
yeah, within the church, yeah. So
okay.
um, there's different like jobs per se. Like they have like a missionary ministry.
Oh,
Um,
okay. So like a role.
people that, yeah, like a role. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. In
Choir,
my church we would
choir
call it a
ministry.
calling. Usually it's
Okay.
handed to you from leadership within the congregation. So,
Wow.
the
You
the
get
man or
appointed.
the woman at top. So
Do
our
you get knighted?
congregation, what's that?
Do you get knighted or something by a
I mean, it's
priest?
not quite that formal, but it is as important.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so all of our ministry is lay ministry, so they're not paid to lead the congregation. And
Right.
the top of all of the congregations we call a bishop, and it's always a
Okay.
guy. And so he
Okay.
leads the congregation. But like my bishop here in the greater Los Angeles area is a real estate agent. That's how he makes his money.
Okay.
So just a normal dude, and then fills some religious roles on the side, right? And so
Yeah.
so we have our local sort of congregation leaders who discuss kind of who they want in certain positions within the congregation.
Okay.
So
So
it
they're
kind of
like
comes from the
scouting
top down.
people?
A little bit.
Okay.
They see like, oh, this person will come to church every day. They seem to be together, and they might have some young kids, but I think they can handle, teaching Sunday school or something.
Right. Okay.
But it sounds like for your congregation or for your religious experience, you picked. It was like, I want to be part of Hufflepuff. It's going to go out and
Yeah.
preach or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
You pretty much picked, unless your parents like made you do something. That was
Uh-huh.
usually the case for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
yeah.
which ministry did you join
So
voluntarily?
I actually joined the AV ministry, audio visual.
Yeah, nice. The
Yes,
tech.
for my
You were a
church.
techie.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I just wanted to do something where I could
Not
be
talk to people.
hidden, not talk to people. Exactly. Does not talk to people. And that's all you do in church is
Yeah.
talk to people.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
was trying very hard to not do that.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what was a typical Sunday like? What are Southern Baptist services like?
So our church at the time growing up was in the city. So we would, we'd drive into the city, maybe get there for the early service, about like 8 or 9. I can't. It's been so long. I can't remember.
Yeah. It's shameful.
About like 8 or 9,
Yeah.
and we would do both. We would go there for both services because my dad taught Sunday school at the
Mm-hmm.
time and was also in choir.
Mm.
And sometimes would do both services.
So when you
Um,
say both services, you mean
it would
like,
be like an 8 or 9 o'clock, and then like a 10 or 11 o'clock.
got it.
So,
Okay. I
yeah.
see.
So um,
Same preacher for both services?
yeah,
Same
yeah,
sermon
yes.
for both services?
Same sermon. Yeah,
That
just
is a lot of church, man.
an 8 or 9 o'clock, like comics do. 2 shows. And
Yeah.
they do the early show.
Yeah.
They do
Yeah.
the early show and the late show.
Yeah. Or
The
the
early
earlier
Sunday
show
show,
and the early
crowd,
show.
crowd is a bit rowdy, and
Right. Yeah. They bring out the dirtier material in their later show,
yeah,
but generally the same message. Yeah.
yeah, same message. Yeah,
Wow. That
um,
is okay.
yeah, and that later show can go on forever.
He'd run the light.
He would run the lights.
Really? So what was the longest sermon you had to sit through, if you
Oh,
remember?
I've definitely, if I can I mean, I know I've definitely gone to church at 8 or 9 a.m. and gotten home by about 4 p.m. or so.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
wild.
3 or 4. I mean, those days would be kind of rare. I mean,
Yeah, sure.
more like 1 and 2.
Yeah,
Um,
but still.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
It was the whole
crazy.
day. It was the whole day.
Was there
Two
also choir
services.
practice in there, or?
Yeah. So there would be, like, on Wednesdays, my dad would go to a
Okay. Yeah.
choir practice. It'd be like Wednesday, Thursday, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tried to get me in choir. I pleaded, so I got no voice. I begged.
Yeah.
I
Well, it's a
just
talent that you cannot hide, Ray. You have to
I can't.
shine it,
These
bring it out from
pipes,
the
man.
bushel.
These people got to hear these pipes.
That's right. That's right.
I definitely wanted to do something where, like, I could be near not a ton of people, not have to talk a whole bunch. And AV was perfect for that.
Yeah.
It
Gotcha.
always did, and it was ran like a job, like
Sure.
a real job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our church was actually a pretty big church, a pretty popular one,
Uh-huh.
and also had was aired on their local TV.
Oh, okay.
So they had, they needed people that were actually professionals that did
Yeah.
a job, and and then they had kids like me coming in learning
Right.
stuff like that.
To take over the reins and everything.
Take over the reins. Yeah,
Man, that's
yeah,
wild.
it was actually fun, but
Yeah.
it was fun doing that because I mean that was kind of interesting, you know,
Right.
seeing all the board, being behind the boards, and I
Yeah.
didn't really handle the cameras, but we did have like 4 cameras set up.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, big church. Not there anymore. It's in Largo, Maryland. They got a even bigger church. I mean, it was the church of
Sure.
like it was a church of like 1,500 members, and they like are
That's
expanding
crazy.
more. It
Yeah, yeah,
was
yeah.
it was a big church. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, what are some of like the basic tenets of that you recall of like a Southern Baptist faith? I mean, is it because you guys don't believe in the Pope, right? So, is the minister like the mouth of God for you, or
it's usually just the pastor, the individual.
uh-huh,
The pastors usually would. Um, the pastors are the one that usually own that church.
uh-huh,
If I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think every pastor is part of like a larger community that all the there might be like some. I honestly have no idea.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I mean, my perspective too is that it's a little bit disjointed, that not every pastor is teaching like the exact same
oh, for
thing.
sure. Yeah, which is why you have people like you'll have what is a normal church, and then you'll have people like the Westboro Baptist Church who are
Right.
you know
Who are
yelling
very
about
correct about
yeah.
what they believe.
Yes, who are actually going to heaven.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
According to
Um,
them. Yeah.
yeah. Um,
Interesting. So do you remember your family shopping around for a church or
oh
for a
yeah,
pastor?
absolutely,
Oh, okay.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Every place that we had to move to, we shopped around churches. We never really stayed at one church until we moved to Northern Virginia. And
Mm,
even when we were in Northern Virginia, we were part of 2 churches,
mm-hmm.
2 big churches. But my later high school years was the big church in DC called the Metropolitan Baptist Church.
Mm. Yeah, that
Uh,
does seem stressful to just find a
yeah,
new home spiritually every time you
yes,
move.
yes, it is. Went through a lot of different pastors, that
Yeah.
either my mom didn't like this one and my dad didn't like this one.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
did you ever feel a personal connection with your faith?
I think at one point,
Uh-huh.
um, and I've definitely like gone through a lot in my childhood that also developed in me not, I guess, not that I don't believe, I'm more agnostic, I guess is the
Mm-hmm.
term. Like,
Yeah.
kind of neither here nor there.
Right. Right.
But, I kind of wanted, in my 20s, I kind of just wanted to put that off and just not focus on, church or God or anything, just because I
Yeah.
was just out churched.
Yeah.
I was really mentally exhausted.
Yeah.
Uh,
So it was more of a burnout kind of issue
it
and
was a
not
burnout.
uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely burnout.
Were there any like teachings from pastors that you heard that you were like that can't be right, or was it more just the burnout? Like I
It
don't
was
know if
more,
I can keep doing this. Like what is this for?
it was more just the burnout.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, there are some things that I did kind of question with with some pastors, like I think everybody does. Normally, I think.
Yeah. I mean, maybe for some of you, doubting Thomases, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Oh, is that a term that Mormons use?
I mean, we believe in the Bible. We've read the New Testament.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know a little bit
Yeah. Yeah.
about Mormonism.
Nice.
I guess. Okay. I do have a question for you.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Let's go. I have
Okay.
one more for you, and then but
Okay.
you ask yours, and then we'll come back to my one for
Scale of
you.
1 to 10.
Yeah.
How much did you like that the South Park episode that made fun of Mormonism?
I mean,
If you saw it.
there are a few, as I recall, that make fun of Mormonism, but the one that really gets into Joseph Smith and the beginnings of Mormonism is actually pretty accurate and quite
Yeah.
funny. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
On my mission, a lot of people that I talked to only knew about Mormons, and they live. I went to Eastern Canada. I was in the Quebec
Okay.
province, speaking
Okay.
French and teaching about Jesus.
You speak French.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I've
okay.
held on to a little bit of it. I mean, I've lost, I think, probably quite a bit, but
Okay. Been a while.
if pushed, I could communicate.
We'll get back in there.
Yeah, we could get back in. But yeah, a lot of these kids in Quebec, because I served in a lot of college towns. So I would talk to people that were about my age, 19, 20, a little bit older. And they only knew about Mormonism because of South Park.
Yeah.
So
I mean, guilty.
yeah,
But
yeah. And there are quite a few accuracies. And
yeah.
we can talk about that for sure. My last question for you, Ray, is
Okay.
how do you get to heaven in the Southern Baptist faith? Is it like deathbed repentance kind of thing, or is it just you? Do you know what I mean? Because my understanding is that you're baptized in the Southern Baptist faith. You profess
Yeah.
Jesus as your Savior. You accept
Yeah.
Him in your heart, and you're good to go.
Yeah. It is. It's between that and then also just walking through the path that Jesus took, I guess.
I mean, metaphorically, symbolically, I would
Metaphorically.
hope.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't have to die at 33. You can continue. You can continue living if you
Jeez.
like.
Yeah. I was going to say, you look great for a 32-year-old. I'm going to be sad to
Yeah.
see you go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, uh, still kicking.
Gotcha. Okay. So, I mean, so really it is more of a model your life after Christ.
Right. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. They talk about having the faith of a mustard seed, I guess, which I don't know what that means, but you got to have like at least a little bit of
Sure.
faith and you're good, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. And what do you do in heaven? I guess I lied. One last question. What is heaven for a Southern Baptist?
I guess it's you have many different gates or many different sections of heaven, and you go to the one where your family is, and you're chilling with family.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So are the different sections like based on your righteousness or?
I honestly have no idea.
Yeah. All
Yeah, I
right. Do
don't.
you believe in an afterlife, or
I do.
where do you stand personally on all this?
Nah.
Yeah. I mean, I know you said you're
This is
agnostic. What do
how
you
I
hope?
stand.
What do you hope for? Do you hope there's
I
something
hope.
after?
I hope there is. I mean, I honestly have no idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, fair enough.
That's how I stand on it.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
great.
I am. I have been like reading passages through the Bible app. There's the
Yeah.
Bible app now, and I've been doing that only within the past month or two, and I've been like easing into just reading the Bible like on my own at
Yeah.
my own pace,
Yeah. Yeah.
on my own. So
is some of that,
figuring it out.
do you think some of that's been influenced by quarantine and like the stress in the world right now, or yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
it definitely is. Yes, because I am since I have asthma, I'm one of the targeted, you know,
right. Yeah, you're
people.
at risk. You're an at-risk
Yeah, so
demographic.
getting close with my maker, man.
Yeah, you got to get ready. He's always
Yeah,
there for you though, so that's good.
yeah, yeah, it is true.
Yeah.
So, uh,
Interesting. Sure.
yeah, man.
Beautiful. All right, let's jump into the segment then that you cannot wait for. I'm finally done pestering
Yes.
you with overly personal questions. Now it's time for what's the deal with Mormons. So, what questions do you have for me, Ray?
Yeah, I will already ask you the biggest question I
Yeah.
have,
Yeah. So, I'm
and
fine
then
with
I
the
want
South Park one. Usually,
yeah,
people follow up the South Park one with the Book of Mormon musical. I have not yet seen it. I would not be opposed to seeing it. I have listened to most of the music and
okay,
find most of it pretty funny. So,
okay,
yeah. But
that's
I'm a
yeah,
comedian, so like I'm not that easily offended.
of course, of
I
course,
can easily understand why those of my faith would be offended, but I don't
right.
think as many are as offended as the outside world might think. So,
Oh, that's cool. Okay,
yeah.
I
Yeah, I mean
mean,
my church did run an ad in the playbill when it hit Broadway, and the ad in the playbill said the book is better. So we try to take
so
things in stride fairly
that's
well.
that's good. I
Yeah.
like that. And I
Yeah.
don't know. You're you might make me a Mormon by the end of this.
I mean that's the whole subversive goal that I have right
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
So,
yeah. No, that's cool. I like people of different religions having a sense of humor about you know,
yeah,
because
I think we could all take things a little less seriously sometimes,
right,
you know.
yeah. Because for me growing up, a lot of my family members would get outraged if
Mm.
they were to see how South Park made fun of Christians and
Oh,
how
sure. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I don't know. I never thought it was a big deal. So I've always loved the religious jokes and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
Interesting.
uh,
Anything else? That was it? You just want to know about
yeah,
the
I
South
think that
Park
was
thing?
yeah, it was just just South Park, really.
What details do you
That's the
remember
only
from the
thing I
South
got to
Park?
lead into me. What's that?
I said, what details do you remember from the South Park episode?
You know what? I was actually going to go in to watch the episode again before,
Oh yeah.
just so I can catch up because it's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah.
The only thing I really remember distinctively was that one scene where Joseph Mormon looks into the hat and he's like reading
Yeah.
the like ancient uh, or scrolls or whatever, and he was
Right.
translating.
Right.
Um, yeah, I don't know,
Yeah.
but
So it's Joseph Smith. Were named
right,
Mormons because of the Book of Mormon, which Joseph Smith translated. So that's what he's translating when he looks into the hat, the magic hat with the magic
yeah.
stones.
Please tell me that hat is real. Please tell
Uh,
me
the
the hat
hat
is in the Book of Mormons.
the hat is not
Please.
in the Book of Mormon because the Book of Mormon was written hundreds of years before the hat
Before
came into
hats were made.
existence. Yeah, I mean there were hats, but not that one. You know,
Yeah.
um, but yes, Joseph Smith used a few things to translate the Book of Mormon. And initially, yeah, he had what were called seer stones, which were these rocks that he placed at the bottom of the hat. And he would look into the hat at the seer stones and would see words translated for him. And
Okay.
that's what he would dictate to a scribe who would then write them out. He also had spectacles, glasses, these magic glasses that had various lenses with them
Words.
that he would look through to translate.
They weren't
Uh,
dirty.
I don't
Just
know. I mean, I hope he kept them clean,
yeah.
but it's been a while. I don't know if the hat is still around. I believe The glasses might be on display somewhere in Utah, Salt Lake City, or at the Brigham Young University archives. I don't remember which, but I think the glasses are still around. Not much else is, though. The hat might be, I don't know.
So
But
wait,
yeah, I mean, yeah.
so what era, I guess, would Joseph Smith be
So,
alive at the
so,
time
so
in
he,
Salt Lake City?
I mean, so Joseph Smith was alive in the 1830s, and
Oh, okay.
it really, where you were born, Syracuse, New York, not too far, relatively speaking, from where Joseph Smith found these sacred plates that were translated into the Book of Mormon. They were found in Palmyra, New York. So his family also traveled around, not because they were part of the military, but because they were dirt poor. So they moved around a ton, and in farming communities in New York, ended up in upstate New York, and his dad finally kind of landed decent farmland, and so that's where Joseph really grew up.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. So it all started in New York. I mean, at least the Joseph Smith part. My faith, my religion, we claim Adam and Eve, man. It's one gospel. It's one church that has lasted throughout, other than when Jesus Christ was crucified and his apostles were all killed. Then, the church, the priesthood, the authority was lost until Joseph Smith came around in the 1830s. And
Right.
that's why he's so important for us, is because he was the modern day prophet that was called to restore the church and the gospel to the earth, bring all of the teachings back.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
yeah.
I find it interesting, all the different religions that really come from the same story, whether it's
Yeah.
Mormonism, Catholicism, Islam,
Right.
Christianity. It's all the same shit. It's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah. I think, I mean, to me, I take that as evidence. I suppose you could use the word evidence. I look at it as, truth is all coming from one place,
yeah.
and there's
So
different
there's like some
ways.
truth in there.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
there are different
Yeah.
ways that God, Heavenly Father, however you want to phrase it, connect with people here, on
Yeah.
this earth, right? His children. So he uses culture, he uses, to try to connect with them, to eventually lead them to Mormonism, obviously. But, it's really just about connecting.
Yeah. 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 It is interesting. Man, the one religion I've always been interested about, Scientology.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Ooh, that's a
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah.
That is
The
a
L.
good
Ron
one.
Hubbard. I mean,
Yeah, L. Ron
Ray,
Hubbard.
you can satisfy that curiosity pretty easily here in LA.
I can just walk in
They would welcome
right
you with
now.
open arms.
I think they would.
Yeah. And I bet your
Have you
career
ever?
would skyrocket if you really
I
invested in.
absolutely would. I mean, I'm here, so
Yeah. You
there
got
you
nothing
go.
to lose. You may as well.
Man, have you ever driven down where that huge? There's like the place in LA near what is it, Vermont in
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Vermont and
near,
Sunset.
it's near what? Second City on Sunset. It's like across the
Yes,
street from
yes,
Gelson's or whatever that grocery store is.
yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It always looks like
That
Christmas
whole
over there.
that street is so weird.
Yeah.
It
It
looks.
is though.
I mean, it looks like a stage set.
Yep.
Honestly,
Yeah.
really
No,
does.
it really does. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
but I
it's
don't know.
it's a Hollywood church for a Hollywood people.
That would make sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would make sense.
Uh and anyway, any no other questions? I've loved this conversation, by the way.
Yeah, I think that honestly, that's. I mean, unless you have any more to share, I'm all,
I mean, I
my soul is in your
probably
hands.
what I should probably do is get your number and address and send some of my friends over. They can really talk to you more
Get
in
some
depth.
pamphlets.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
no, man, I wanted to let you ask any questions you had about it. If you want to watch that South Park episode and hit me up regarding specifics, feel free to do so.
You know what? I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, because I bet you're
Yeah.
gonna watch it and be like, that can't be real. And then you'll message me and I'll be like, oh yeah, that was totally real. There's no.
Okay. I'm gonna because I remember that just being so funny.
Yeah, there are some really weird things regarding the start of Mormonism in America, for sure. Very interesting stuff. But a lot of it was like New York was kind of a weird place. You know, you had treasure hunters in upstate New York. You had a religious revival, people believing in, you know, magical sticks that could lead them to treasure, and these seer stones. All these things were sort of common things that people claim to have and use constantly.
Yeah.
So,
Man, I bet you could have just said honestly anything at one point.
yeah, I think, well, you know, what's funny to me is like with stand up, if you sell it, I mean, if you sell a joke, people will buy it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess the certain way you say it.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, granted, I think there are aspects of religion that are absolutely true. So I don't want to say that, you know, preachers are just selling you a joke, but there is.
It kind of helps.
Yeah.
You know, like how you're doing right now. You're selling me Mormonism, and
look, I'm not gonna lie to you. We are recording this on Juneteenth. I had not intended to do that because.
Oh, damn it! I didn't even think. I've been celebrating all day, and I didn't even. All days. Of course, this is what the white man would do on all days of all days.
Just trying to sell you on my white Jesus.
Couldn't wait.
But
couldn't wait until December like a normal Mormon.
I know. And in all seriousness, we Mormons need more black people in our church. So if you decide to switch, you know, we'll welcome you with open arms.
Wow, be like the Herman Cain of Mormonism.
That would be great. We could really use some of those.
It wouldn't. It would. Not for me. Am I right?
Oh my gosh.
No.
Anything you want to plug for when the world opens up again?
I guess if you don't have Sirius XM, download it, and you might be able to listen to a track of mine.
Yeah, baby. That's so fun. How many tracks of yours are out there in the ether?
Got 3.
Nice. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so far.
Excellent.
I think I'm going to work on something.
And with everyone in quarantine, you have to watch something online at this point. You may as well go check out Amazon Prime, Laugh After Dark, Season 2.
Might as well.
I mean,
Season
why not?
2, episode something. I'm not sure.
I think you're near the end of that season, if I recall.
I think I am. Either 7 or 11, one of the two.
Both good numbers.
Or 8. I have honestly, no, it's up there. It's one of those.
Yeah. Well, Ray, thank you so much for joining me, man.
Thank you for having me.
All right. You have a good night and a good week.
All right. Happy Juneteenth.
Happy Juneteenth.